All right, so we've been talking about how to create your content strategy from the top. So we have brand definition, we have which is the who you are. Then we have some high-level strategy things, situation, target audience, and then mood boards, which is the creative decisions, especially visual decisions. Then we have the planning phase. This is the month before we actually start shipping stuff. We talked about that in the last video. Now we have a couple other sections, and I'm just going to deal with these at once, I think. So you have month 4, which is execute and measure. So you write all the stuff to get ready to ship. You create all the stuff. I mean, we created some of the design and layouts here, but now here's where we fill them all in with content. And then the really big thing we want to look at here is, okay, here's the creation, execution. Really want to talk about measurement though, because if you're not measuring, you don't really know how things are shaping up. You don't really know how things are going. You don't know how to fix things. You don't know, I mean, if you have goals up here, if you have goals in the strategy, let's say the situation analysis has your strategy in it, right? Well, if you have a strategy, you kind of want to measure it. Now, a lot of things that are worth measuring are not measurable. So let's say you're trying to build your brand and your thought leadership. Well, you might have people who are too cool, like a VP of a large company who are too cool to go on, LinkedIn and be like, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to give you a call, right? In response to this ad that I just saw. They're probably not going to do that. They're probably too cool for that, right? They probably just want to look around. They might go to your website. You might not even know anything they did, and they call you up. Or they look at you on LinkedIn and they find someone who they know and they ask for an intro or something like that, right? So they're probably not, a lot of things are hard to measure, but you do want to measure the use. You want to measure the traffic. Email, you can measure email stats. You can see how many opens you get. Some of that information is, can be tricky, but you can see how many opens you get. You can see how quickly people opened them. In the first hour, 2 hours. Heck, you can even test alternate, subject lines and what do you call it? Preview text that they show you before you even open the email, right? Before a user even opens it. All right, so you have all kinds of ability to get information. So, measurement is super important. You're probably looking at, what I do for clients is I create a dashboard with their name on it right up here. There are a couple of key metrics here. There might be down here. There might be like a bar graph showing, just some basic measures. Like one of the things I like to measure is keywords. So you have a table here and you have keywords. And this is a Google Data Studio thing. And you look at these keywords and you see that your site ranked like you're in the top 6, let's say average search. Well, if you get in the top 5 or top 3, you're going to get a lot more clicks. And you realize there's like at least, I don't know, a bunch of people looking for that. We can see that by the number of searches we have. And so we decide on that page, we want to know how do we fix that page and give it more SEO. Well, you go out here and there's another table that'll give you click on that and there's another table that'll give you, here are the pages, the URL to the page that's getting you that traffic for that keyword, right? So now you look at that page, you look at those pages and you say, okay, those are the pages, these two right here that we're going to focus our efforts on. And we're just going to SEO optimize those. It doesn't take much. We're going to SEO optimize those, and then we're going to get this up from 6 to, let's say, 5, 4, maybe 2, 1 would be amazing, right? If it's a long tail keyword that you can actually win. So reporting is important. And so after that, once you have your monthly done, all your normal monthly stuff, you're getting that wired. I would give that 3 months to settle in before you start monkeying with too much. And then you start looking at other opportunities. And so you go to the next thing, which is, build and refine. You might decide, hey, a lot of our users, they like podcasts. And so we're going to create a podcast, or like they like video content. We're finding out a lot of our clients are telling us they love to watch videos. So we decided we're going to do some video content. You might do a rebrand because you might have skimped up here. You might have done a really, oh, oops, wrong thing. Just erased a bunch of my stuff here. So you might have done a skimpy job up there, and you may need to do another rebrand. You might have shortchanged that. You might want to do a proper rebrand, or maybe in a couple of years you do. Measurement, again, we just talked about that. Building your internal team, that's a big one. And so I'd love to talk more about that later. But in my experience, building an internal team, you want to know there are certain styles of thinking that are good at creative work, and there are certain styles of thinking that are good at quality assurance and quality control. So you want to see, building your team. What I would do, and here's what I recommend, is as you're growing your team, get a fractional CMO. Get a fractional CMO to start you off, and then have that person help you hire some core people. Have them recommend a hiring strategy, because you probably want something like, you may decide, hey, we want a project manager to make sure all the work gets done. That's going to be our core person. But guess what? We also want them to be able to do a little design, right? And then you find out that PM who does design isn't very good at design, or they're not good at PM. And so, it's important to know what you're looking for and what you're trying to do. Hire that central position first. You might want to hire a marketing manager, right? And then a fractional CMO up here who's not there all the time. But that person is mentoring your marketing manager and making sure that this person is measuring, right? The CMO is measuring, reporting, and then, but also kind of keeping watch over this person, helping them have success, right? The marketing manager have success. And now that marketing manager, man, you just need a freelance team, totally misspelled freelance, a freelance team of writers, writer, designer, ad, person, or measurement person, analytics person. You're building out your team, and then as you decide, hey, we're doing more stuff, we're getting more work, our sales team is liking what's going on. So now you may hire a writer full-time or a designer full-time, whatever you want to do, as the situation warrants. And so this gives you a lot of flexibility. You have your FCMO who has experience and who's going to get you some good guidance, right? They're cheaper than you can get an FCMO and a marketing manager full time. Let's see, and you're going to get way more effectiveness than if you were just to hire a marketing manager by itself, because the FCMO is going to mentor that person, make sure they're measuring the right things, make sure they're pointed the right direction, and then also talk things over with them so they're not alone. So they're not the only ones in the organization doing marketing. That's important. All right, that's about it. This is the end of this little series. So I hope you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, hit me up or leave a comment on YouTube if this is where you're watching it.